commercial break and be back with more news and action from the other side. Stay tuned with the Papare.
Get keys to your wheels and experience people-friendly vehicle leasing with Amana Bank. Enjoy the lowest monthly installment and flexible financing up to 7 years. Apply online at www.amanabank.lk or call 0117 756 756. Amana Bank. It's your bank.
Radials. The road is yours.
Scrum down at the Dubai Rugby Sevens. Feel the adrenaline rush with thrilling Sevens games, indulge in top-notch rugby entertainment and tackle a variety of sporting activities. Fly to Dubai on an exclusive Emirates Holidays package inclusive of a 3-day pass starting at 275,000 rupees only from Aiken Spence Travels. Call Aiken Spence Travels now.
NDB Neos තියේදී risk එකක් නැතුව kick එකේ fund transfers කරන්න වගේම chill එකේ bills pay කරන්න. රුපියල් 50 Melbourne Savory පොඩ්ඩෝ එක්ක match එකට set වෙන්න. Real energy for real life. Ride.
Gold hair and body wash shaker.
Enjoy the infinite possibilities of the freedom of space, inspired by the beauty of our land. Sri Lanka's finest finished, largest sized porcelain tile collection. Majestica. Lanka Tiles. Fine living redefined.
හැමදේම අතලඟ තියෙද්දි දුක් විඳින්නේ ඇයි?
Scrum down at the Dubai Rugby Sevens. Feel the adrenaline rush with thrilling Sevens games, indulge in top-notch rugby entertainment and tackle a variety of sporting activities. Fly to Dubai on an exclusive Emirates Holidays package inclusive of a 3-day pass starting at 275,000 rupees only from Aiken Spence Travels. Call Aiken Spence Travels now.
Gold hair and body wash shaker.
Hot and spicy fun by Rugby Karana. Beat the remake Karana Karana. Have a look at Bawala give me a fashion Karana. Fun Karana. Go to me, kick it Karana. Prima, cut to me. Fun tamai.
NDB Neos තියේදී risk එකක් නැතුව kick එකේ fund transfers කරන්න වගේම chill එකේ bills pay කරන්න. Real energy for real life. Ride.
Surf Excel පළමු සේදුමෙන් ඉතා පහසුවෙන් තද පැල්ලම් ඉවත් කරන කම්ෆර්ට් ප්‍රීමියම් සුවඳ සමගින් දැන් රුපියල් 540කට පමණයි.
Coloma, beautiful hour. outside and inside.
රුපියල් 50 මැල්බර්න් සේවරි පොඩ්ඩෝ එක්ක මැච් එකට සෙට් වෙන්න. නිකම් බොරුවට රිස්ක් එකක් ගන්නේ ඇයි? NDB නියොස් තියෙද්දි රිස්ක් එකක් නැතුව කික් එකේ ෆන් ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර්ස් කරන්න වගේම චිල් එකේ බිල්ස් පේ කරන්න.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
It is my vision that wakes me up, not my alarm. I make mistakes, but I will never be defeated.
My biggest competitor is myself.
Vibe account from Commercial Bank for the youth who think beyond limits. Coloma, beautiful outside and inside.
වතුරත් ලීක් වෙලා ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි. බලන්නකො දැන් සාලේ කැත. චමරි.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල් 2K waterproof දැම්මනම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නෑ. හිතටත් නිදහස්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල් 2K waterproofer සීල් කරන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
Welcome back everyone to the Sugadasa Stadium as we're just moments away from the final encounter of the President's Trophy 2024 between the defending champions St. Peter's College and Isipathana College. And joining with us for the rest of the game on the commentary box is Abdullah Yusuf. Good afternoon, Abdullah. Expecting to see a great clash between two quality sides.
Absolutely, and both these teams just seem to have made it a habit of getting into title deciders, isn't it? So great credit to both schools for in terms of their consistency of performance. But Isipathana, you'd have to say, would desperately want to turn things around, isn't it? This is the second consecutive year they are meeting their old foes, the Peterites, in the knockout final. They've also met them in the league decider over the last 2 years as well, and just haven't been able to take that extra step. So they'll be desperately wanting to put that right today, and they've got the players in their ranks as well to do that. But having said that, the Peterite outfit, very vastly experienced, quality outfit. They know how to pick themselves up for these big games, and I'm no doubt that they definitely want to just put the finishing touches as far as they are concerned for what has been an outstanding season.
One of the main headlines coming into this game, Abdullah, is that St. Peter's College have managed to beat Isipathana 3 times in a row now. So these are the last 10 results in tournament finals for the two sides, St. Peter's and Isipathana. So as we all remember, this year St. Peter's got the better of Isipathana by just 3 points in the league decider, and then in the last year's knockouts final, St. Peter's managed to beat Isipathana 25-16, and in the league decider 28-17, and before that, it was 15 years ago that these two teams met in a deciding clash. That was once again the President's Trophy final, where St. Peter's got the better of Isipathana 16 points to 11. In 2007, St. Peter's once again managed to beat Isipathana 23 points to 13. In 2002, Isipathana managed to beat St. Peter's 16 points to 11. In 2001, 20 points to 17, once again in favour of Isipathana. In 1996, Isipathana once again got the better of St. Peter's 15 points to 7. And in 1995, St. Peter's managed to win that game against Isipathana 6 points to 3, and in 1986, the oldest encounter in this list, Isipathana, they managed to win that 13 points to 3, and that was a league deciding encounter. So a rich history when it comes to both the tournaments for both these sides. They have met in a lot of deciding clashes, and this one will also join this list, Abdullah.
Yes, and it's going to be really interesting to see how both teams approach this. It's come to the tail end of the season as well. Both teams physically and mentally could be in different places as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they pick themselves up for this final. It's been a long and grueling season as well, so I'm sure the coaching staff would have managed their workloads during the course of this week to ensure that they are in peak performance for this final.
And Abdullah, It's before the game, so if I ask you to point out one player each from the two sides to turn up today big time and do a difference, who are the two players that you will mention?
As well, it comes to the Peterites. I think Yumi Chihar is a key player and he's injured. So I think in that context, you will have to look at the skipper Navodya, isn't it? I think he's going to be absolutely critical for them. Because if he can just rally and from that number 8 position, if he can control the game, make his breaks, his communication is very good, I've noticed amongst his team. And if he can have a big game, you just sense that the rest of the players will follow him. And of course, if it comes to Isipathana, I think you just cannot look beyond that man, Shahid Zumri, isn't it? He's going to be absolutely pivotal for Isipathana in how they perform today.
The key players for Isipathana College: Shahid Zumri 70 points this season, Nimanda Sandeep 36 points, Abdullah Faiz 16 points, and the skipper Nisa Jayavira, he has been a very silent assassin in this season. Nisa Jayavira playing at number 8, he has scored 15 points this season for Isipathana College.
On the other hand, Peterites, Vishenka Silva 80 points for the season. Rahul Peter with the boot, he's been brilliant for the Bamba Brigade, 69 points. Skipper Dulaj now with their 40 points, and Pasinda Bandara 20 points in this season for St. Peter's College. So plenty of big names in this Peterite outfit, where Isipathana College will have to try and keep these players silent. I think they can get ahead in this all important game in the knockout final.
So we still have some time remaining until the official kickoff. So for now, we will head to a short commercial break, and on the other side, we will have the starting lineups and the kickoff of this Dialogue Schools Rugby Knockouts 2024 Grand Finals between St. Peter's College and Isipathana College. Stay tuned to Sri Lanka's number one sports channel, the Papare TV.
Real energy for real life. Ride.
Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff. Hamasitakma pipide, rasa lemon rasa ye. Jeevithayama mihirai. Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff. Chill when a lemon.
Stop! Didn't you know you can get free delivery with Uber One?
Wait, really?
Yes, you can get unlimited free delivery on eligible orders with Uber Eats. Order this, and that, even groceries. You can also get 5% back in Uber credits on rides. Priority service exclusively with our top-rated drivers. And with Uber Eats, expect your order to arrive on time, every time. With just a few taps, unlock exclusive perks and savings. Plus enjoy your first month free. Sign up for Uber One now.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තියේ කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චමරි අක්කා. බිත්තියට ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ෆිනිෂ් එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
Gold hair and body wash එක.
Real energy for real life. Ride.
Get keys to your wheels and experience people-friendly vehicle leasing with Amana Bank. Enjoy the lowest monthly installment and flexible financing up to 7 years. Apply online at www.amanabank.lk.
Amana Bank. It's your bank.
Stop! Didn't you know you can get free delivery with Uber One?
Wait, really?
Yes, you can get unlimited free delivery on eligible orders with Uber Eats. Order this, and that, even groceries. You can also get 5% back in Uber credits on rides. Priority service exclusively with our top-rated drivers. And with Uber Eats, expect your order to arrive on time, every time. With just a few taps, unlock exclusive perks and savings. Plus enjoy your first month free. Sign up for Uber One now.
වාගෙනදී තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක.
චොමරි අක්කා. ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
සර්ෆ් එක්සෙල් පළමු සේදුමෙන් ඉතා පහසුවෙන් තද පැල්ලම් ඉවත් කරන කම්ෆර්ට් ප්‍රීමියම් සුවඳ සමගින් දැන් රුපියල් 540කට පමණයි.
Coloma, beautiful outside and inside.
හැමදේම අතළඟ තියෙද්දි දුක් විඳින්නේ ඇයි? රුපියල් 50 මැල්බන් සේවරි පොඩ්ඩෝ එක්ක මැච් එකට සෙට් වෙන්න.
Gold hair and body wash shaker.
Stop! Didn't you know you can get free delivery with Uber One?
Wait, really?
Yes, you can get unlimited free delivery on eligible orders with Uber Eats. Order this, and that, even groceries. You can also get 5% back in Uber credits on rides. Priority service exclusively with our top-rated drivers. And with Uber Eats, expect your order to arrive on time, every time. With just a few taps, unlock exclusive perks and savings. Plus, enjoy your first month free. Sign up for Uber One now.
Survivor 47. Survivor has evolved all these advantages, all these twists.
Survivor Season 47. Only on Hits Now.
දන්නවද සිංහයාගේ කම්මැලිකම ගැන? දැකලා තියෙනවද මීමස් රජුලගේ ලස්සන? අහලා තියෙනවද The Great Elephant Gathering එක ගැන? විඳලා තියෙනවද තල්මහෙක්ගේ ආදරය? මේ සේරම දකින්න, අහන්න, බලන්න, විඳින්න පුළුවන් එකම තැන. Animal Planet. ලෝකයට හැංගුණ සත්ව ලෝකයේ අපූර්වත්වය සමග. Animal Planet.
Let's get into it.
This is Hits Now, where talents are discovered and superstars are born.
I'm very proud to have you on my team.
Where you can solve crimes and fight fires.
Must be nice.
Laugh with the family and many others. Play games and prove you're better. All the latest hits, all the time, all in one place.
A very good afternoon and welcome to unfamiliar but still picturesque graphics here from the Sukadasa Outdoor Stadium, a stadium that we unfortunately don't see a lot of rugby matches at, but a stadium, Abdullah, you have played in, and a wonderful stadium that a lot of us remember from that 1991 South Asian Federation Games where Sri Lanka performed so well right here. But two teams, St. Peter's College, the defending champions, and Isipathana College coming together in what will be a clash of the titans for the ultimate game of this 2024 rugby season. You're live on the Papare TV. It's going to be a cracking game. The conditions look fantastic. It's hot. The clouds are building up overhead, and the two teams carrying out the President's Trophy, which they will be playing for in the next 70 minutes.
Yes, both these teams seem to have made it a habit over the last couple of years to make themselves in contention for silverware, and it's just another occasion where both these teams will be desperate to try and get hold of that trophy that we see being placed on display. St. Peter's have come out on top over the last three occasions, including the league title as well, where they to end up on the winning side, and Isipathana no doubt will be desperate to put things right and get a victory of their own.
Yes, a league game, the league final, if we can call it that, going the way of St. Peter's by just a hair's breadth in completely different conditions than we find today, Abdullah. That was a wet, terrible day at Havelock Park, but today is bright and sunny, and hopefully we won't have any weather issues to contend with as Nisaja Jayavira leads out the green machine, followed by Shahid Zumri. the man who has become a household name in the course of this last 6 months or so. And of course, Dulaj Navodaya, Captain Fantastic, who has led his St. Peter's side to an unbeaten league title this year and will be looking to remain unbeaten in the final match of the season. But stranger things have happened. Abdullah, favourites have come into this President's Trophy knockout and ended up on the being second best. But I don't know if today is going to be the day, but Isipathana will certainly try to make it so.
Yes, and the conditions will also suit their style of rugby, isn't it, Shanaka, compared to what we faced in that league decider. Much more drier conditions, and we all know how Isipathana like to play the game with a lot of width. So these conditions will definitely suit them to the T from that aspect. But before that, they've got to contend with this very formidable Peter Wright 8 in order to get some good quality ball for their backs. So that could very well be the area where this game could be decided up front. And if the Isipathana forwards can match up with the Peter Wright 8, then we are in for a really interesting game.
Few positional changes that look like they have been made for this game as well, Abdullah. And we have Pasindu Silva coming in from fullback, and he's coming to slot into the centres. The slot left vacant by the injured Umit Shihara, and Emit Javira has recovered from his injury of last week, and he will take his place at number 12. Vishenka Silva will remain at 11, but Vihan Rusit comes into the side on the right wing, and Praneeth Silva, the usual right winger, slots back into the fullback position. So quite a bit of rejigging in that Peter Wright backline, which shows that their forwards will really need to do a job today against this formidable Isipathana 8 with a few guys that have been unsung heroes of the side. Guys like Kenuna Mihisara, Abdul Ahmed, and Shakib Zumri recovered from that bout of dengue, and he finds himself back in the side as well. He would have desperately been wanting to play, and it's going to be a real battle, a real tactical battle also. Two very different but at the same time tactically astute coaches, Salya Kumara for Isipathana, and of course the age-old Fox, Sanat Martis. He will know exactly what his team is capable of and has rejigged it to get the best possible outcome from his backline, which is missing a key factor in Umit Shihara.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a really interesting positional change, isn't it, Shanaka? Because I thought Pasindu Bandara has been absolutely brilliant in that last line of defense with his ability to counter-attack as well. So just it shows how important they're considering that number 13 position, isn't it? They feel that they need his experience in that 13 position. So it'll be interesting to see how he will cope with that positional change in such a big encounter as well. And one reason for that change could very well be that Shahid Zumri tends to sometimes roam from that 10 position to the outside centre position as well. So I'm sure that would have been a part of the consideration for him to be placed in that pivotal number 13 spot.
And it looks like Isipathana have sprung a surprise of their own. Abdullah, we've seen Shahid Zumri in at the number 10 position, but they've brought the number 14, Avishka Hiran, into that number 10 position on the team sheet as well, which means that Shahid Zumri will move to outside to that number 13 position opposite Pasindu Bandara. So it looks like they've brought in a tough defender to cover that potential move and mark Shahid Zumri, man-mark him as it were. But I'm interested to see how Avishka Hiran goes, because he's a really good little player, has really impressed me in the last couple of times that he has played in that number 10 position. And of course Nimantha Sandeepa, who scored that cracking try against St. Thomas's in the semi-final last week, he's on the right wing as we welcome into the commentary box Mr. Sudarshana Piris, who seems to have recovered from last year's Bradby exploits. Sudarshana.
Well, thank you, Shanak, and warm welcome to all our viewers as well who are joining us on this live telecast. What a game it will be. Isipathana and St. Peter's have almost turned out to be.
Gada, Mundi Dundi Sureda, Heda.
Well, the flags are unfurled, not just the St. Peter's flag, but the Isipathana flag as well, and the crowd is ready, the teams are ready. It's the culmination of a long season, not just for these two teams, but for everyone who has been involved in this rugby season 2024. Situm Rajapaksa will be scrumming down at number 1. Lasitha Mapitigama at hooker. Kavin Tarusha, Kenula Mihisara are the two big men in that Isipathana forward pack. Abdul Ahmad will be a key in the lineouts, as along with Shakib Zumri. Tinetta Dodangoda, look for him to try and steal some ball at number 2. Nisa Jajavira will carry strongly from number 8. In at number 9, in place of Kalindu Shenal, is Situpa Bomet. Avish Kahiran is at number 10 in a shock move for Shahid Zumri to move to number 13. Abdul Aziz keeps his place on the left wing. Dinada Vikramarachi will be key today as well. Nimantha Sandeepa, will he come up with a play? And Abdullah Faiza has been safe as houses for Isipathana at fullback. Few changes with St. Peter's as well. Running the Ridmal, Janaka Ranasinghe and Jehan Veerabangsa have been their first choice front row. Revan Pereira, another big man in the second row alongside Shanuka Pereira. Sandin Kularatna, Aiden Fernando and Dulaj Navodya will be that roving third row. Salit Gallagate starts at number 9 alongside Rahul Peter, who has improved leaps and bounds in the last few weeks. Vishenka Silva, the top try scorer of the season, he will want to add to his tally today. Recovering from injury, Emit Jayavira is the cog in the centre of midfield for St. Peter's, and Pasindu Bandara moves from 15 to 13 in a move that most coaches like to make, a few of them successfully though. Vihan Rusit comes into the playing 15 because of that injury to Yumit Shihara, and he will be followed at the back by Praneeth Silva, whose position he takes. So Praneeth moves from the right wing to the full-back position, Abdullah. So a few positional changes for both back lines. How do you see that playing out? Are these players good enough to adapt?
Well, they most definitely are, but the positional changes are never an easy one to call, isn't it? Especially if you are forced to make that change in such a big final as well. And Pasidu Bandara, he's been absolutely brilliant in that full-back position. So it's not just moving to that centre position, but also how they will be able to manage the counter-attack, which has been a big part of the Peter Wright game.
Today's officials, Ishanka Bekun, Kalum Sandaru and Ravin Alexander, and the TMO will be Mr. Anil Jayasinghe. Good to see Ishanka in the middle after that little incident earlier on at the start of this season. And those are your commentators, who are loved by some, hated by others.
Captain ready.
Dulaj Navodya, St. Peter's captain. His opposite number, the number 8, Nisaja Jayavira, who will be laying their hands on this President's Trophy in 70 minutes' time. Abdullah Faiza, the heavily strapped pair of knees, will start off proceedings going from right to left on your screen. The green machine against the Bamba Brigade. Going immediately to Rahul Peter, who takes that comfortably and puts it into touch. So that's a tactic that people are using, Sudarshan, and now kickoffs have changed unrecognizably since maybe even you were playing. And now it's just kick it to the kicker and they kick it back.
Interestingly, it's going to change even more so because you're going to be able to call mark from the kickoff with the new law changes that are being trialed in the Under-20 Championships as well. And yes, back in the day, you did have the lines running up and trying to bring the ball up before the kicker would go in for territory. But here it's very important that Isipathana try and dominate this first line out, because Peters is a team who like to operate there.
Tinetta Dodangoda just that at number 2, uncontested line out, and they've been using Nisaja Jayavira in that 12-13 channel quite regularly. And the ball has been stolen by Rahul Peter, passes it up off the floor, and the first scrum of the game will be a knock-on, but first breakdown and first turnover, that won't please Isipathana too much.
Yes, it's an area of the game they'll really need to be on point with, because it's pretty evident that Peter Wrights like to compete at the breakdown. They'll try and slow the ball down at that point in order to ensure that Isipathana don't get quick ball. So it's important that if Isipathana are to get quality ball, they need to try and get over that gain line and push Isipathana on the back foot as much as possible.
So Trinetta Dodangoda on the near side of the scrum for Isipathana. Let's look at the turnover here. That ball was knocked forward in the tackle of Shahid Zumri. And Nimantha Sandeepa trying to turn that ball over. Situpa Bomet coming in place of the very experienced Kalindu Shenal. That will weaken this Isipathana 9-10 combination quite a bit. Shenal has been a real experienced key man for this Isipathana team. He was given 2 yellows last weekend. And as we talk about that again, you see the inexperience of Situpa Bomet. The ball came out from Channel 1. And immediately Salit Gallage pounced. Here's the big Rani Ridmal trying to take it over halfway. Does exactly that. Veera Bangsa waits. Another big strong leg drive. Revan Fernando still going. Looks like it almost got turned over, and referee's calls are holding on. So first penalty for Isipathana, and now it reads 1 apiece in the turnover column.
Good work by Isipathana that time. Revon did have support as well, but making sure that they showed daylight before they went into the ball. Important for Isipathana to try and make sure that they dominate those lineouts and make use of the lineouts that they win, because St. Peter's operating around the lineout areas are very, very dangerous.
Yes, it's always very dangerous if you say you make a break and your supporting players expect you to have hit the deck, and you're not tracking, just taking that extra few meters, which isolated the ball carrier on that occasion. And Isipathana were pretty good at pouncing on that ball and getting a penalty.
Kenula Mihisara to throw into Isipathana's second line out from almost an identical position. Gudangoda looks like they're not going to contest him at the front. And here is a little bit of a rehearsed move as Nisa Jayavira takes it forward from the receiver position. Yes, Kenula Mihisara smashing into the first line of Pete Wright defenders. And again, superb work at the turnover. I think that might have been Aiden Fernando. In fact, it was Shanuka Pereira who went in over that ball. Again, the turnovers coming thick and fast in just this first 4 minutes of the game. 3 turnovers already, Abdullah.
Yes, and it's all coming at the breakdown, isn't it? So both teams are pretty adamant that they're going to get stuck in that area of the game. And it's important that they take note as well, because the Sri Lankan referees do like to blow at the breakdown soon as the ball is in the hands of the opponents. So it's important that teams keep that in mind, and the tracking is absolutely crucial, isn't it? So we have a look at that once again. It's very well done by the Pete Wright forward.
Gallagher does well to get that ball away, and Emit Jayavira will put it on his left boot and bounce it nicely into touch. He didn't have a lot on there, so he had to put the kick in and did well.
Coming back to the breakdowns, I think both the teams are still struggling for that rhythm to try and go in with the player who's carrying the ball. A second late, the opposition will pounce, and that was a brilliantly positioned kick. He didn't have much space to work with, Jayavira, but really found the spot.
Here's Abdul Aziz. The back three for Isipathana, not very big, but certainly have plenty of heart. And Dodangoda takes it at the front again. Use it is the call from referee Abekun, and it's put up in the air by Situpa Bomet. Tackle made on the chase by Zumri, but St. Peter's forwards rather have got back well. Mahapitagama. It was Ranasinghe who took it forward. Nice pass from Gallage. Crossfield kick from Rahul Peter, but straight into the hands of Abdullah Faiza, who likes to counter. It's a little bit of a bump, but it's okay, says referee Abekun. I think the referees have wised up to players using their footballing skills, and by that I mean play acting skills, as that ball is charged down and goes into touch again near the halfway line.
It did look like it was dangerous for St. Peter's to cricket cross field, where they found Abdullah Faiza opted to go high, and Pasindu Bandara coming in for that was already committed.
Was committed but didn't do a lot to pull out of the challenge. Maybe it would have been just a penalty, if anything. Amit Javiri. Here's Pasindu Bandara in his newfound position at number 13. Tries to run outside Shahid Zumri, but Zumri tracks him. Good lower body strength there. Abdul Ahmed making the tackle. That ball has been knocked forward.
Oh, hey. Don't do that.
There's a bit of handbags early on, which is never a bad thing.
Yes, big final. So there's always be a bit of nerves, a bit of tension. It's important that both teams just hold their nerve and emotions as well. Don't want to be conceding penalties on that count.
All in, bank us in.
Look for Javira off the back of that, and this is where Sitapa Bomet has to be a little bit more accurate as to how when he leaves the scrum. Offside is the call, and Mapitigama will give it to Sethum Rajapaksa.
No.
Bomet again with Abdullah Faiza at first receiver. He opts to go around his opposition players, and nicely taken into tackle by Abdul Aziz. Here's Rajapaksa carrying strongly again, brought down by the Pete Wright captain. Running onto it at pace, Kenula Mihisara. Nicely done. Into the 22. And they go short side again. Abdul Hamad smashed back in a tackle. That was superb work from Shenuka Pereira.
Backwards, Leon.
Kenula Mihisara tried to shift that ball quickly. Just couldn't find the support runner in the face of really good defense, and that's a cynical penalty given away by Dulaj Navodya. He was on the floor and did a smart thing by his own standards, conceding the 3 instead of the 5.
Yes, and also it's in a very good kicking range, Shanaka, and the first points in a game like this is going to be absolutely crucial. The Pete Wright skipper deciding that he'll take one for the team, putting his arm out, and in the earlier exchanges seems like Isipathana are bent on making sure that they send in their forwards and try to suck in their Pete Wright defense before they unleash their back line, because that's something that they struggled with in the previous encounters, where they couldn't try and break that Pete Wright defense, their back line, because most of the forwards were there in the back line marking the important men. Seems like their forwards are looking to do a little bit more work in the early exchanges of this game to try and open up those spaces at the back.
Shahid Zumri will line up the first opportunity for points. You can see he's holding his left groin there. He's recovering from an injury. And we all know how groin injuries can affect kickers. Those adductor muscles vitally important for a kicker's stance. Not a long follow through, and it's off the mark. So it'll be interesting to see whether he continues to kick or whether Avishka Hiran will step up, or Nimanta Sandeepa, who can both take place kicks. Abdullah, but Dulaj Navodya giving away that penalty there, that was interesting because he knew exactly what he was doing, and maybe he felt that Isipathana was getting the better of their defense.
Yes, it's an interesting situation. Could have just been instinct as well, isn't it? As you mentioned, it could be considered cynical, but referee just decided to go with the penalty only, as long restart by Isipathana. Zumri returns back, safely collected by the Pete Wright wing three-quarter, who will try and launch an attack.
This is Praneeth, who is wearing 14 on his back but playing at 15 today. And now a long, ambitious pass for Vihan Rusit. Does really well to keep the ball back in field. Not something that many wingers have been able to do this season. But unfortunately, passing to Bandara is forced to concede the penalty because he didn't have enough mates supporting him.
That roll from Bandara was legal, but then afterwards he needed to place that ball. The long reach when you go down is something very, very important for the players if they are slightly isolated, but Bandara that time not managing to execute it properly. Opportunity now for Isipathana as they come into the red zone of St. Peter's.
Nice fend by Rusit there, and that's a lovely pass inside to Bandara, but can see Tinetha Durangoda well over the ball there, and he needed to let go. He rolled with momentum, as Sudarshan has said, and he's unflappable, isn't he, Salia Kumara Abdullah? Just doesn't give away much. Kerala Misara to throw in again on this near side touchline. Durangoda. They're not going to contest him. Nisuda Javira bumps off one tackle, the one of Aiden Fernando. And now St. Peter's line up. Here's Kavin Tarusha. Scored that crucial try for Isipathana to take them to extra time last week, and bit of clumsiness at the back of the ruck.
This is where Isipathana need to be much more accurate in their attack. They've had a couple of opportunities, just haven't been able to convert it. And I'm sure the way both teams have approached it, it looks like Isipathana have made a conscious effort to start this game by playing with a bit of pace. They've had a few opportunities, but just haven't been accurate enough. And as this game goes on, these mistakes start piling on, and the Peterites, the experienced team that they do have, will definitely make you pay.
Sanat Matis looks on anxiously, knows that he wants a treble in his pocket at the end of this season. The only ones that can do it, obviously, and Zumri with a little bit of a fancy pass. We've been talking about those back of the hand offloads that he has been keeping away from for a large part of this season. But sometimes when players are injured and they can't play at the top of their potential, maybe try to look for something a little early on in the game, Abdullah.
And also sometimes when it's not exactly there, I think the important thing is to pick your moments. That occasion they were trying to launch a counter attack, so they were not exactly on the front foot. They hadn't got behind that first line of defense, so it is a big risk. No look pass as well, and you don't want to make that kind of pass when you know your prop forward is the one who is going to collect the ball. As the Peterites, long ranging kick.
Abdullah Faiza opts to go long outside of his 22. Dulaj Navodya puts a little chip kick in. He's a sevens player, Dulaj, and manages to come away with that ball. Some great strength on the run, and Abdulaziz now needs to get out of the way, and nicely blown by referee Abekun, who says the ball was there, so doesn't need to roll away. St. Peter's offloading. Rahul Peter not wanting to take the contact, gets back into the line, but Isipathana turn it over, and Zumri puts a little grubber in for Praneeth Silva, and that's a great chase by Nimantha Sandeepa. Now they're caught inside their 22. Emit Jahavira, Shahid Zumri wraps him up inside. Now St. Peter's need numbers. For some reason, Isipathana choose not to pile in there. That was thumped down the field by Emit Jahavira on his second favourite left foot, and here's Abdullah Aziz. Beautiful step from Aziz. Aziz swerving for the line. What a run by Abdullah Aziz. I was talking about how small the Isipathana wingers are, but it doesn't matter when you can step like that.
Oh yes, it does not matter when definitely in counter you can do that. I think Jaivir made the mistake of kicking it to no man's land, so very close to the Isipathana back three, and Abdullah is absolutely splitting through the defense. Went in untouched, Shanaka, and he had the biggest threat of crashing onto one of his own players. They were the closest to him. But Isipathana College getting that first score, and rightfully so, because they've been the dominant team in the opposition half in these opening exchanges.
Yes, and you said that Isipathana needed to get those points, isn't it? Because the way they were territorially dominating this game, Zumri makes no mistake with the conversion. So just the start Isipathana would have wanted in this all-important final. And what a start it has been. Absolutely brilliant by the pin size Isipathana wing three-quarter. What wonderful footwork.
Sorry, I think we've been doing him a disservice. That wasn't Amit Jayavira. I think it was Pasindu Bandara who cleared. And somehow, I think everyone, it was like a slip cordon that looks at each other when the ball goes through, Abdullah. Everyone thought someone else was going to tackle Abdul Aziz.
It's absolutely brilliant. And just the awareness, isn't it? The composure to identify where the space is, where the gaps are. Maintain the presence of mind. Brilliant bit of skill by the Isipathana wing.
Kavin Tarusha smashes forward from the kickoff. Situpa Bomet will now look for Mahapitagama. The front rowers carrying the ball quite a bit early on. Here's a little chip kick put through. Dulaj Navodya now trying to run his team into a bridging score after that first Amana Bank try by Abdul Aziz.
Yes, going off his feet is the call. But again, Peter Wright skipper showing how dangerous he can be from the back of the field. Getting through that first line of defense.
Well, some of our coaches, some of our schools coaches can really take up the profession of playing poker because they have very good poker faces. Gives away absolutely nothing, like you mentioned, Chanaka.
Well, if I was sitting around a poker table with Salia Kumara, Sanat Matis and Dushant Liuke, I certainly won't be coming away with any money. Here's Pasindu, gives it to Vishenka. And now Praneeth Silva in the line. Praneeth putting that little goose step in and gets around Abdul Aziz. Vihan Rusit holds on for dear life, but Isipathana managed to counter-ruck. The ball is out and Abdullah Faiza drags it forward. And it's been lost again at the breakdown. So this is a proper ping-pong battle. So playing breakdown table tennis. Galage. Yes, lovely run by Amit Jayavira. Puts the fend on, can't get inside the 22. Straightened it beautifully, did Jayavira. Smashing forward is Shanuka Pereira. Galage. Yes, Veerabangsa. Galage goes short side once again. Here's passing to Bandara. Just can't get the pass away, but I think they will come back. And referee Ravin Alexander will say that there might be a deliberate or accidental knock-on in the tackle.
What's the recommendation? Who is the tackle? Number 13. Captain. Captain. Deliberate knock-on. Deliberate knock-on.
Yes, well, it was in the red zone as well, isn't it? So I don't think referee Abekon had any option. Had to show a card. It was pretty deliberate. And Isipathana, after getting that first score and dominating most of this first 18 minutes, will now need to manage the next 10 minutes or so with 14 players.
It's an important player they've lost as well, Nimantha Sandeepa. See if we can see that one again. The tackle and how the deliberate knock-on came about. Maul is sacked. They don't get to set up a driving maul, but this time Revon Fernando goes over. A barging run by the second rower. And Isipathana still reeling from that yellow card. Couldn't recover in time. But Revon has smashed his way over.
Brilliant stuff by the beat right forwards. Amana Bank try through Revon, who gets 5 points for the beat rights. I think what's impressive about the Petrites was the fact that that maul didn't set initially properly, but they didn't have that awareness and the experience to make sure that they keep the ball available, keep it available at the back, and make sure that they pounce on those close fringes that Isipathana wasn't guarding too well. Pathanians, on the other hand, after that 7 points that they got, take a look at this. Once the maul goes down, they make it available. Rivon digs it up and says, I'll take the short side. And the only man there, Mapitagama, could not hold on to him. His body positioning wasn't right. He wasn't low enough. And the new number 9, Situpa Bomet, had absolutely nothing to do but fine margins. Fine margins will make the scoreboard remain at 5 points to 7 in favor of Isipathana.
In the final equation, how much is the width of that upright going to matter? Revon Pereira has had an excellent season for Isipathana, for St. Peter's, I should say. My apologies. Just smashing off the upright. He's had a mixed season as well. Suffered a few yellow cards early on, but has been an absolute monster at the breakdown. Showing a lot of strength to go over for that try. Here's the roving Dulaj Navodaya. Plays like one of those roving number 8s of the 90s. That ball is cleared well by Rahul Peter, who manages to get his team out of trouble. It's in an area of the game that teams have struggled with recently.
Yes, this time the Petrites did very well from that situation. Suraj Navodaya just running across a bit, but the forwards regrouped well. That's the man Isipathana will be missing for the next 8 minutes or so. They've already conceded 5 points in his absence. I'm sure they wouldn't want to concede much more.
Dodangoda doesn't even need to do that little dummy jump that he's doing because they have decided not to contest him at 2.
Advantage. Third advantage.
Referee Abekun playing advantage to Isipathana now. They know they have a little bit of license to run, and Avish Kahiran puts the chip kick in, but it's a little too far. But they will come back for the penalty.
Interesting call to be made here, because Sumri from the other side of the field missed out those 3 points. Isipathana have shown that they are going 4 points whenever that's on offer. But looks like Pfizer will go to the corner. They managed to try and milk in a penalty through that line out, so they'll be hoping they can do that yet again here at
here's the tackle. That was Nimantha Sandeepa. Let's look at it from the other angle. Yep, he knew exactly what he was doing. He was looking at the ball and just interfered with the pass to the winger, who might have had an overlap. So no options for Ishankar Bekun but to issue a yellow there. Call coming in from Ravin Alexander, who's watched it all the way. Mapitigama now close to the line. They're 5 meters short, the green machine. 1 man down. Can they make it count? Kenula Mihisara now. Nice quick ball for Kavin Tarusha. Just makes it available for his team. Does well. Kavin Tarusha didn't have white line fever there.
No, it's okay.
This is the Jayavira now. Jayavira reaching over and he scores. They will have another look, but it looks like this is the Jayavira managed to get that ball down. And 5 meters out. The Pathana captain will not be stopped in this final.
Brilliant stuff. It did look like he did cross the line, but with the technology available, I'm sure they will go upstairs to try and check. Referee Shankar. Referee Shankar wanting Anil Jayasinghe, the television match official, to take a look at the grounding.
Dulaj Navodaya having a bit of a moan. Ishita Jayavira. Can you check the grounding? Was the call from Ishan Kabekun to Anil Jayasinghe? The consensus in the commentary box is that it's a try. But let's see what the TMO says. Another angle. Let's look at all of them. Gallagher going in. Ball is well. It looks like he has the momentum. Doesn't make a second move. And looks like shouldn't be a problem.
It did look like he had control over that ball throughout that motion. And that is something the referee will be looking at. And television match official Anil Jayasinghe has had no hesitation. So that will be the second Amana Bank try for Isipathana College. And with that, Isipathana will have gotten a big boost to their ranks.
Yes, the interesting aspect of that try by the Isipathana skipper was his body position. Is that brilliant body position? Just kept his composure even in the tackle. Probably grounded it in that first movement itself, but just to make sure, let the momentum take him well over the line. So some really good play, not just by the number 8, but the entire Isipathana pack. It's been a really good start by Isipathana. It's just that they need to pile on the points when it comes their way.
Just to add on to that, I think the Isipathana forwards are absolutely brilliant in these opening exchanges. Zumri not finding his mark, and like Shanaka mentioned early, when you do have a niggle in your groin, it's one of those places in your body, isn't it? As a player, it's not like you can strap it up as well, and you don't know what movement will make it worse. So Sumri might be having that at the back of his mind. So it'll be interesting to see whether Isipathana will bring an alternative kicker who can try and take kicks from the spot.
Well, Avish Kahiran is on the park and he's a very good kicker, youngster. I think Isipathana will do well to give those kicking duties over to him, at least from the tee, just to take a little bit of that responsibility off Zumri's shoulders and allow him to focus on running the game and managing the game, which he does so well. Fans from both schools excited, anticipatory. Rihan Rusit coming into his one of the few games that he's had a chance to start, and what a game it is to find yourself in. Rahul Peter, nice flat ball, and Vishenka Silva is cut down by Dhanada Vikramarachi. Standing start for Anidhu Ridmal, so he doesn't make much ground. On the 40-meter line, St. Peter's driving forward, but again they're isolated. Kavin Tarusha goes in after it, but missed it, and here's a short side burst again. Superb straightening run by Dulaj Navodaya. He's made some telling breaks already, the Peters captain. And he is with the ball again, really asking for it, getting through a lot of work.
No hands, Green. Oh, no hands. First, roll away.
Good continuity from St. Peter's. Not held that time. Ranasinghe. Still going. St. Peter's have picked and gone for about 20 meters now. Anidhu Ridmal. Aiden Fernando taking it forward. Dulaj Navodaya hit in a hard tackle by Sithum Rajapaksa. Gets out of the way nicely. Revon, the try scorer. Anidhu Ridmal spots a gap. Ridmal just dragged down short.
No, knock on.
Peters inches shot. Gallagher gets hammered. And Isipathana pour in, but St. Peter's still have managed to retain the ball. Almost on the line. St. Peter's still going, and they've scored. Under the post they go. And it was probably from 40 meters out that they started this movement, Sudarshana. Pick and go, and at the end there would have been some tired legs that just couldn't keep them out.
Just incredible stuff as Ranadu Ridmal gets in Amana Bank try, the second for St. Peter's College, and that move, that try would give a world of confidence for the Peterite forwards. That move and that carry from almost out from 25 to 30 meters, but they kept on hitting the fringes hard and fast, and with the conversion going through, scores are just like that leveled here at Sugatadasa Stadium.
Try scoring move started off again by Dulaj Navodaya Abdullah. He seems to be really injecting some urgency into the speed right outfit. See who scored there. Yep, it's Rani the Ridmal who dives over and manages to dot the ball down. So good passage of play there, Abdullah.
Yeah, brilliant by the Peterites. So it's a punch and counter punch by both teams here. Just what you'd expect in a final. As Isipathana restart proceedings. The Peterites deciding to clear their lines. It's a long ranging kick. Isipathana will look to launch a counter attack. Very dangerous from this kind of situation.
Nimantha Sandeepa is back on the field and announces his presence with a mazy little run there. Mapitagama go back to Avishka Hiran. Here's Zumri. Straightening, little burst of acceleration. Can his teammates catch up with him? Eventually they do. His brother Shakib Zumri now hands off to Kenula Mihisara. Dangerous position once again as Nisantha Javira, the try scorer, takes it forward. Isipathana captain willing his fellow forwards on. They have to clear this ball. And it's a great counter ruck by St. Peter's, but not so great because they've left their feet and give an opportunity for points.
You can't play the ball.
Interesting decision to be made now. Isipathana have gone for points every opportunity that they got, and this one is just spread and water right in front of the post on the 5 meter mark. And I think the commentary is being heard as Nimantha Sandeepa has been given the opportunity to try and take that. But what a burst from Zumri, isn't it, to try and attack that fringe. And Isipathana are very, very dangerous from broken play. No problem for Sandeepa. He may have been missing 10 minutes, but when he comes back, brilliant stuff to make that initial break and then ends up with 3 points.
They're converting pressure into points, both teams, and that's good to see in a final. Should be a high scoring affair for the neutrals and indeed entertainment for the spectators.
Yes, we were talking before the game started, Shanaka, about the contrast in weather conditions to that league final when both these teams came up against each other. Just 3 penalties in that game, 6-3 in favor of the Peterites, but it's been complete reversal in this final. We've already seen 4 tries within the first 30 minutes.
Zumri knocks it back to Dulaj Navodaya, who has been the most dangerous Peterite on the field with ball in hand, and he makes another 15 meters. That was could have been a little bit of an accident there, but Veerabangsa does well to go over the 50-meter line and give St. Peter's a little bit of a chance. Praneeth Silva with a little show and go. Gets it off to Pasindu, but Avishka Hiran makes an important tackle.
Hey, don't do that. I didn't pass.
Revon. And the penalty is coming. Beautifully done that time by Situm Rajapaksa on Revon Pereira.
It's always a bit dangerous when you just try and take that extra meter, isn't it, at the breakdown. You open yourself up to letting the ball being pouched, because it's just so much more difficult for your supporting players to enter the ruck on time.
Fans of the green machine waving to our drone. Maybe the last play of the half. You can watch it here. Revon Pereira. It's a good low hit that time by Nisada Jayavira, and Setum Rajapaksa gets right over the ball and gets a nice body position in. And unfortunately for St. Peter's, Kularatna was not able to clear him out there. Nicely sacked that maul. So both teams employing the sack as a defensive tactic.
Use it. No.
Here it is for Avishka Hiran now. Nice hands to Shahid Zumri, who puts a little cross kick in for Nimantha Sandeepa, who'll step outside, keep going, and does he get it down? Ravin Alexander is on the spot, and they will have a conference.
Sandeepa is absolutely confident that he got an Amanabak try. Referee Alexander wants to take a look at an incident on the run up to the try.
On field decision try. Can you check the man in front? Last play.
Well, that's sensible referee. Ravin Alexander wants to make sure that Nimantha Sandeepa was not in front of Shahid Zumri when he made that little kick pass. It will be a matter of inches even if he was, but the on-field decision is a try. So Anil Jayasinghe needs to be absolutely sure that when Zumri makes this kick here, that Sandeepa is not in front of him, and to the naked eye it looks like he's fine.
Oh, absolutely. Looks like it's no problem at all, because there is no problem about the grounding. And the verdict coming in from the television match official is that he's all right.
Angle of probable try or not.
Because about the grounding, the two referees had absolutely no problem.
Well, as we await the decision, now they're just having a look at the grounding, I presume. But just what a wonderful bit of skill again by Shahid Zumri. Just two aspects to that. First, the ability to identify the space out wide. And second of all, the pinpoint kick, isn't it? And it's pretty evident there that the grounding was clean.
Get me another angle, please.
Well, interestingly, it did look like it was Vihan Bandara. Beg your pardon, Vihan Rusit rather, who ultimately dragged him on to the in-goal area from St. Peter's.
It was Praneeth Silva actually. Praneeth Silva was playing at fullback, so there is momentum.
He's grounded. He's taking the St. Peter's players are taking out, and his grounding is okay.
Okay, thank you.
So referee Anil Jayasinghe, TMO Anil Jayasinghe has communicated very clearly that it's the St. Peter's players, that's number 14, Praneeth Silva, who drags him over the try line, and that roll that Nimantha Sandeepa makes is because of the tackle of Praneeth Silva. So the grounding is fine. Finally, the right decision has been made, and that's the important thing about these TMO referrals, guys.
And very good communication by the referees as well, because the referees did not have a problem, and there is no second movement of that. It was, I think, maybe slight lack of awareness by the tacklers to drag him into the in goal. If they could have just tried to stop him just before the try line, they could have pounced on that ball, because there was no support player around Bomet.
No.
Seems like it's not a day for the kickers, as Isipathana College have to be content with just 5 points, but a brilliant first half. Complete contrast, like you mentioned, from the league decider, as the weather gods have held, and we are having an impeccable game of rugby with the lead swinging like a pendulum.
Absolutely, 5 tries in the first 35 minutes. Don't think any of the spectators or those watching from home could have asked for more. Fantastic skills shown by both teams, and it's eventually Isipathana who go in with a 20 points to 12 lead, and in a final, that's a pretty healthy margin to go in at halftime, isn't it, Chanaka?
It is 32 points scored in 35 minutes, so real point-a-minute stuff almost here. 4 Amana Bank tries, 5 Amana Bank tries already that you've seen, and for generations, Maliban Savoury Biscuits have been the perfect companion for gatherings, bringing friends and families together to celebrate cheerful moments just like today's game. Maliban Crisco, Cheese Bits, Chick Bits and Snackers are the variety of Maliban Savoury Biscuits which suit everyone's taste. So if you're at home watching the match or cheering right here, grab a pack and share the joy of the game with Maliban Savoury. Colombo is a pretty beautiful city to look at. Pallekele was beautiful also for different reasons, and it's a concrete jungle here, but still very, very pretty.
Yeah, the boat development from far up. As we take a look at Sugadadasa from the aerial view. Last time around when we were here for the knockout finals, we managed to try and spy on the game at our Premadas as well, which was hampered by rain.
But so far, what a wonderful final it's been, isn't it, gentlemen? Both teams putting their best foot forward. Execution of skills have been brilliant. And dare I say, if the first half is anything to go by, we'll be in for a treat in that second half. And we'll go in for a quick commercial break, and we'll see you on the other side.
Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff. Hamasitakma pipide, rasa lemon rasa ge. Jeevithayama mihirai, Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff, chill when a lemon.
නිකම් බොරුවට රිස්ක් එකක් ගන්නේ ඇයි? NDB නියොස් තියෙද්දි රිස්ක් එකක් නැතුව කික් එකේ ෆන් ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර්ස් කරන්න වගේම චිල් එකේ බිල්ස් පේ කරන්න.
Scrum down at the Dubai Rugby Sevens. Feel the adrenaline rush with thrilling Sevens games, indulge in top-notch rugby entertainment and tackle a variety of sporting activities. Fly to Dubai on an exclusive Emirates Holidays package inclusive of a 3-day pass starting at 275,000 rupees only from Aiken Spence Travels. Call Aiken Spence Travels now.
Coloma, beautiful outside and inside.
රුපියල් 50 Maliban Savoury පොඩ්ඩෝ එක්ක මැච් එකට සෙට් වෙන්න. NDB නියොස් තියෙද්දි රිස්ක් එකක් නැතුව කික් එකේ ෆන් ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර්ස් කරන්න වගේම චිල් එකේ බිල්ස් පේ කරන්න.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
එක පැත්තකින් වාගෙනදී තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක.
චොමරි අක්කා. ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
නිකම් බොරුවට රිස්ක් එකක් ගන්නේ ඇයි? NDB නියොස් තියෙද්දි රිස්ක් එකක් නැතුව කික් එකේ ෆන් ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර්ස් කරන්න වගේම චිල් එකේ බිල්ස් පේ කරන්න.
Surf Excel පළමු සේදුමෙන් ඉතා පහසුවෙන් තද පැල්ලම් ඉවත් කරන කම්ෆර්ට් ප්‍රීමියම් සුවඳ සමගින් දැන් රුපියල් 540කට පමණයි.
Gold hair and body wash එක.
හැමදේම අතළඟ තියෙද්දි දුක් විඳින්නේ ඇයි?
Coloma, beautiful outside and inside.
Fiat Car Radials. The road is yours.
It is my vision that wakes me up, not my alarm. I make mistakes, but I will never be defeated.
My biggest competitor is myself.
Five accounts from Commercial Bank for the youth who think beyond limits.
Fiat Car Radials. The road is yours.
Train එකේ ඇල්ලගින් සෆාරියෙන් යාලේ ඇවිත් අලිවලස්සුවට තියන් සෙල්ෆි ගහමු වරෙන් මචං උතුර දකුණේ කොහේ ගියා ට්‍රිප් වන් එක ඩබල් වෙන්න කොතුමි රසට හදා නැති නැතට ෂෙයා කරන් කමුද මචං ප්‍රීමා කොතුමි ෆන් තමයි.
Stop! Didn't you know you can get free delivery with Uber One? Wait, really? Yes, you can get unlimited free delivery on eligible orders with Uber Eats. Order this, and that, even groceries. You can also get 5% back in Uber credits on rides. Priority service exclusively with our top-rated drivers. And with Uber Eats, expect your order to arrive on time, every time. With just a few taps, unlock exclusive perks and savings. Plus, enjoy your first month free. Sign up for Uber One now.
Enjoy the infinite possibilities of the freedom of space, inspired by the beauty of our land. Sri Lanka's finest finished, largest sized porcelain tile collection. Majestica. Lanka Tiles. Fine living redefined.
Get keys to your wheels and experience people-friendly vehicle leasing with Amana Bank. Enjoy the lowest monthly installment and flexible financing up to 7 years. Apply online at www.amanabank.lk.
Amana Bank. It's your bank.
රුපියල් 50 මැලිබන් සේවරි පොඩ්ඩෝ එක්ක මැච් එකට සෙට් වෙන්න.
Surf Excel පළමු සේදුමෙන් ඉතා පහසුවෙන් තද පැල්ලම් ඉවත් කරන කම්ෆර්ට් ප්‍රීමියම් සුවඳ සමගින් දැන් රුපියල් 540කට පමණයි.
Gold hair and body wash එක.
නිකම් බොරුවට රිස්ක් එකක් ගන්නේ ඇයි? NDB නියොස් තියෙද්දි රිස්ක් එකක් නැතුව කික් එකේ ෆන් ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර්ස් කරන්න වගේම ජිල් එකේ බිල්ස් පේ කරන්න.
Coloma, beautiful outside and inside.
රුපියල් 50 මැලිබන් සේවරි පොඩ්ඩෝ එක්ක මැච් එකට සෙට් වෙන්න. Real energy for real life. Ride. NDB නියොස් තියෙද්දි රිස්ක් එකක් නැතුව කික් එකේ ෆන් ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර්ස් කරන්න වගේම ජිල් එකේ බිල්ස් පේ කරන්න.
Fiat Car Radials. The road is yours.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තියේ කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චෞමරි අක්කා. බිත්තියට ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
Swiss Tech Skim Coat. Finish එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
Real energy for real life. Ride.
Gold hair and body wash එක.
A very good afternoon and welcome back to live pictures from the Papare TV as we look down upon the interlocking highways of Colombo. What a modern city it is turning out to be, but dotted with these playgrounds all over for boys like this to learn their skills at an early age and come and give us a point a minute President's Trophy final. Wonderful run from Abdul Aziz here, swerving his hips, keeping his upper body nice and straight so defenders don't even know which way he's going until the last possible moment. A brilliant try.
Absolutely, and that's just started it off, but the Peterites came back as only they know how, using their brigade forwards to good effect, attacking along the fringes. Fortunately, that conversion not finding its mark. As we recommence proceedings,
Nimantha Sandeepa takes the ball for the first action of the second half after he had the last action of the first half. Taken back is the call, and I think they will come all the way back to where that ball was kicked. Yes, they will. So small mistake there from Isipathana as they come back. Little lapse in concentration.
Yes, they would dearly like to get into the opponent's half at the very beginning of this second half. But fortunately for them, it will be a line out against them in their own 22.
Jumping straight across there, Tinitra Dodangoda giving away the penalty and interfering during the line out or during the jump. You can go for the ball, but you cannot make contact with the jumper.
Very clear instructions by referee Abekon, who just before the line out also warned Isipathana not to do that. And especially when you're on notice like that, you got to be extremely careful. Peterites will be a happier outfit if he can get 3 points from here. Chance for Peter to cut down the deficit to just 5 points.
Apart from the tries, discipline has been pretty good from both teams. Haven't offered too many kicks at goal to the opposition. Rahul Peter will aim to get the first points of the second half, and he manages to curl it in at the right post. So St. Peter's will be very happy with that, getting to within 5 points, one score, and puts the pressure right back on Isipathana to make sure they have to score again to get one hand on this President's Trophy at least.
Once again, Rahul Peter has been very dependable for the Peterites from the kicking tee. Very important score for the boys from Bambalapitia. Keeps them within touching distance. It's just now one score in it.
Zumri now puts it straight down the middle of the park, and nobody seemed quite ready for that, but Amit Jayavira will aim to tidy up. Nice ball placement from Jayavira. As Rahul Peter in the pocket will put this one into touch.
Yes, a nice clean exit by the Peterites. Didn't collect the ball in the first instance, but managed to recover well. Probably the Peterites, or rather Isipathana lads, lacking in the chase. They put on a bit of pressure. They could have caused a bit of problems for the Peterites from that restart.
Something the Peterites, I think, have been struggling since that league decider is the loss of Umit Shahar. When you lose your number 13 like that, is never easy, isn't it, to try and get the same momentum as Isipathana set up a brilliant looking maul.
That was Kenula Mihishara breaking off from the back, and Kavin Tarusha now will look to pick and go. Quick ball for the Isipathana number 8, Nisatha Jayavira. Skipper has led brilliantly despite Shahid Zumri being the star player of the season, and they do really well there. Revon Pereira it was who fell over. In fact, might have been Rahul Peter who fell over the ball, was asked to leave it and had a second go.
Yes, a little bit too over-eager were the Peterites on that occasion. They made their intentions very clear that they want to compete at the breakdown, but unfortunately for them, not so legally on that occasion. So you have a look at the replay once again. Yes, you can see his elbows on the ground. Referee Abekon right on the spot to pick that up. It's not the kind of position you want your number 10 to be in, isn't it, Shanaga?
Not at all, and not the kind of position number 10's enjoying being in. But the modern 10s, all of them have to ruck, all of them have to tackle. Gone are the days of the Andrew Mertens type of 10. Shahid Zumri seems to have struck this well, and it has struck it well. Restored the 8-point lead. And Rahul Peter, after scoring 3 on one end, fortunately has to concede 3 on the other. But there's no point dying wondering, isn't there, Abdullah? You have to go for the ball in those breakdowns, and sometimes there's risk, but the reward is also pretty high.
That's true, but also a lot depends on the technique as well, isn't it? It's important you get yourself in a good position, a good strong base before you try and compete for the ball. On that occasion, the man in your picture just did not have his body in the correct place.
Long kickoff, and Zumri's under it once again. Launches it high, taken by Gallagher. Here's Praneeth Silva. Pasindu hasn't had a lot of room to run. They converge on him immediately. Sidhum Rajapaksa does really well to chase and get up there to the Peterite speedster. And Rahul Peter has no option but to put this one right down the center of the field for Abdullah Faiza now to wind up. Straightens nicely. Shahid Zumri. Nice run that time by Sethum Rajapaksa, one of the underrated workhorses of this Isipathana team. Kick has been made, and the tackler was committed, says Abekun, so play on is the call. Rahul Peter now. Now a little bit of space opening up for Vishenka Silva. Dulaj Navodaya has every good number 8 right on the spot. Looks like the ball has been knocked on by St. Peter's at the breakdown, so by Isipathana at the breakdown, so St. Peter's will have the scrum.
Because there was a fair chance for Isipathana to pounce on that ball and tackle it. They couldn't hold on to it. And just before this phase, you saw Pasindu Bandar struggling to get that space that he needed. He's a very, very destructive player from number 15. Wonder whether they will be shifting him to number 15 later in this half. Here they had the opportunity but losing the ball forward.
Kavin Tarusha it was who went in after the ball. There's been a few high profile moves from 15 to 13 in international rugby, Abdullah. Christian Cullen in 2007, I think. And Leon McDonald later on. Both moves didn't end really well, but now Praneeth Silva injecting himself into the line, giving Vihan Rusit a little bit of space. Does well the young winger to keep the ball in play, but Abdullah Faiza is the first dog to the bone there. Somehow they seem to have lost the ball, and flying in was Kerala Mihisara on Aiden Fernando, and Sajid Gallagher will continue. Ball is still available at this time in the heavy traffic. Didn't need any space there, did Pasindu, and manages to get in for the try. And suddenly we have an opportunity for a 1-point game.
Just brilliant stuff, brilliant continuity, and Gallagher, one of those linchpins of this Peterite team, doing absolutely that.
From absolutely nothing, wasn't it, Sudarshana? Just the loose ball coming out. Just got some wonderful runners in both these teams. Just the presence of mind by the Peterite scrum half to find Bandara to go under the post. And the Peterites have struck back as they have throughout this game. What a brilliant final it's turning out to be. So Rahul Peter to make it a 1-point game. Makes no mistake, so it's 22 points to 23 in favor of Isipathana. And within the first 9 minutes or so, Peterites have come back to just make it a 1-point game. As we have a look at that once again, just the awareness of the oncoming players in support is absolutely brilliant. And from that kind of distance, you're never going to stop passing the Bandara.
No problem with the conversion as well. 22 points to 23. And already we've had 45 points being scored in this game. Just what the spectators would have been looking forward to.
Certainly will be. And here's Pasudu now, full of confidence from that little run, shows and goes outside the 22. Runs that back about 20 meters. Does that explosive fullback. Taken back, so Rahul Peter needs to keep this in play. Sits up nicely for Abdullah Faizer. What will the green fullback do to respond to what his opposite number did? Avishka Hiran to Shahid Zumri. We've only seen one burst from him. Finetha Dodangoda coming back nicely against the angle. Here's Kavin Tarusha. Hands it off to his captain. Situpa Bomet, Kenulam Hisara, now Abdul Ahmed. Vikramarachi with his first touch of the game. Shakib Zumri now. Quick ball emerging for Isipathana. The green machine is on the rampage. Nicely done by Situm Rajapaksa. Revon Fernando has to release, and he does. Good discipline. And even though he's smashed in the tackle, Kavin Tarusha manages to get the ball away. And Emit Jayavira that time interfered for just too long before he let go there. Beautifully refereed that time by Ishan Kabekun.
You have to feel a bit for the Peterites. I thought they did brilliantly well. Unfortunately, Jayavira being caught on the wrong side of that ruck. But having said that, I thought they did well to apply the necessary pressure. But an opportunity for the Pathana lads to further extend their lead. Shahid Zumri steps up to take the kick.
Really good passage of play that time from both teams. Unfortunately, a little bit of indiscipline in the undoing of that. Zumri takes a deep breath. It's pretty much at the outside of his range, especially carrying that niggle. Avishka Hiran also playing with an injury, so both first choice kickers injured. Nice strike, has plenty of distance on that, and it's good. An excellent kick from Shahid Zumri, keeping his team just ahead on the scoreboard. And St. Peter's continue to have to play catch-up rugby. They haven't led in this game so far, Abdullah.
That's right, but importantly, they're just keeping within touching distance, isn't it? So, just going into that final quarter, what they want to do is just make it anyone's game. As we have a look at that penalty once again, it's a bit unfortunate. Peterites come in applying the pressure, but Jayavira just had no way of getting out of that ruck. As Zumri just tries to create something, hoists a huge kick.
Beautifully chased by Kenulam Hisara. Here's Vikramarachi, gives it to Dodangoda. And Isipathana pile into that ruck. Jayavira looks to draw in a few more defenders before releasing. Shakib Zumri going for the little chip, not sure that was the right option. Has given the ball away, the younger brother, and has conceded the penalty. But again, the Midas touch by Shahid Zumri just creating a little bit of havoc with that bouncing ball.
Absolutely, and just so dangerous from those kind of open play situations. Fortunately, his brother not making the correct decision on his part. Just needed to hold on to position on that occasion. Thought that the Pathan lads did have momentum with them through that phase. Needed to just created a couple of more phases, and the Peter Wright defense was very much on the back foot.
Laying the ball on the floor there. Very clear. St. Peter's now with a line out in their 40 meters. Nicely done by Kularatna. It's the first time we've had an opportunity for St. Peter's to run, but it wasn't an accurate bit of passing. Nimantha Sandeepa, my goodness, for a little guy, he packed such a good punch. That was turned over beautifully by Rahul Peter. Hit the ground after he had won the ball was the call. And here's Vishankar Silva. Hasn't had the ball in any position, dangerous or otherwise today. St. Peter's now will need to get some field position. Missing that bazooka boot of Yumit Chihara is to send them down 50-60 meters down the pitch. And they have lost the ball forward, conceding a dangerous scrum. And this is an important moment in the game, guys.
Absolutely, I think credit to Isipathana for playing the game in the opposition half. They've won the territorial battle so far, and which is why St. Peter's are finding it difficult. They're looking at ways to run from their own 22, which we haven't seen from St. Peter's throughout this season. They like to play territorial, they like to go into the opposition half, but Isipathana have done very well.
Situpa Bomet to feed. Here's Nisida Javir. Bomet to Avishka Hiran. Cuts through like a knife through butter that time into the 22. Makes it available nicely. Everyone was drifting on to the outside backs. And Abdul Ahmed. In fact, Shakib Zumri will run this one on, and they move this quickly, spotting the numbers. A mismatch of numbers on the right-hand side of the field for Isipathana, but they just couldn't make it work. They will come back for the offside penalty. It's a 4-point game. Do you make it a 7-point game, or do you go for the line?
You've just got to take the points when it's on offer, isn't it? Again, the Isipathana three-quarters, just that ability to identify the gaps in the opposition defense, absolutely brilliant. Just sense that St. Peter's had it all covered, but just not much of room, just an eye for the gap, isn't it? We have a look at that if you can once again. Brilliant work by the Isipathana lads, but this is where the penalty was conceded. The defensive line was not behind the hindmost foot of that ruck. So
penalty conceded because of that break by Avishka Hiran. Just didn't have enough time to get back.
Beautiful run by Hiran that time. Recognizing that straightening is going to do his team much more positive than just getting into the corners. Zumri, despite missing 2 in the opening minutes of the game, duly complies and adds on another penalty.
Well, what a wonderful final this is turning out to be. Points on the board. Both teams going tit for tat. And the spectators definitely getting their money's worth today.
It has been an entertaining final, and we're still to get into the last quarter of the game. Situm Rajapaksa takes it outside the 22. Zumri has heard the call from Abekun, so he can't put this into touch. And now the danger man, Navodya, winds it up. Important tackle by Nimantha Sandeepa. Gets right back up and goes because he wasn't held. Shoveling of the ball on that time, but it looks like it might have gone forward there. So nice close quarter passing, but just the accuracy letting them down.
Few errors creeping into the Peterites game. Probably a sign of desperation, just trying to force that pass.
Well, it's unfortunate, isn't it? The last minute pullouts from this knockout competition. These two teams who are in the final did have a real run against the two teams who played the semi-final against him, because they were playing rugby after 3 weeks. They did not have that continuity or that quarter-final game. This young lad, Yumit Shihar, very unfortunate that we don't see him in the middle, because he was one of those very, very important cogs in the Peterite wheel. So both teams here in the final had a very close matchup against their semi-final opponents. Peterites against Wesley College and Isipathana against St. Thomas's.
This is the Jaivir on that last replay. Lucky to get away without an obvious wrap. Dhananda Wickramarachchi carries strongly in centre field. And Zumri takes it from the young scrum half, this time deputising for Kalindu Shenal. And this time it's Vishankar Silva. You can't give him even 6 inches of space. Finds 10 metres. Revon, but they've ripped the ball away from him, has Shakib Zumri. And here's his brother Shahid. It looks like there's a penalty for a late tackle.
Sense a little bit of frustration creeping into the Peterites game. Things just not going their way. They're not a team that's used to conceding a lead so often in a match. Been pretty dominant in most of their encounters, but today the Peterites have, or rather the Isipathana lads, have definitely taken it to them. And when you
defender and got absolutely shoved out of the way.
5 man, 7 man, 7 gun, then a gun.
We saw this yesterday as well, didn't we, Abdullah, in the box when we were watching Royal versus St. Thomas's. There was a period in the game that you saw that the game and the fact that it was, they were under so much pressure, got to St. Thomas's, and you're kind of seeing that now with the Peterites. Aiden Fernando really covers the pass to the back line well, so Situpa Bomet is forced to make a sniping run off the back of the line out. And this is where St. Peter's will unleash their powerful defense. Nice and deep is Shahid Zumri as he takes this ball. Can't afford to give it away to this dangerous back three. Praneeth Silva shows and goes, a lovely little dummy, but loses his footing, the fullback. Looks like he's running for dear life with that shock of hair of his. Rahul Peter trying to get through the gap but can't find support. Now he does through Amit Jaivir. Ding dong stuff here. Aiden Fernando carrying, doesn't carry the ball. Aiden, he's in the dark places doing the stuff that nobody else wants to do. And here's a replacement for St. Peter's, who are on the field, Hasim Deen. Pasindu finds himself at first receiver. Takes it up to centre field, but holding on to the ball is the call, and it's Abdul Aziz who's over it, and it looks like Aiden Fernando has been holding his leg and in that spot for a while, Sudarshan.
Yes, not a very reassuring. Take a look at that. Not a nice scene for the lads from Bambalapitiya and their faithfuls. Now opportunity for Isipathana. Aiden Fernando, like you said, he is a very, very important aspect to this Peterite set of forwards who does that hard work, who dutifully mans that defensive line as Faisa this time around gets the connection he was after, brings play into the 22 meters. Now Isipathana will have their tails up. They will want to go for that 5 points.
Certainly will want to go for the 7. Dulaj Navodaya now seems to have caught his breath. We'll need to really lead from the front this time. Aiden Fernando on the floor. Pasindu tries to go around him. And right over the ball is Abdul Aziz. That maul is set nicely. Kenula Mihisara is at the back. He'll think about bursting through blindside. It's the same maul, says referee Abekun, and Mahapitagama now has it at the back.
Yeah, back.
Here's Nisada Jayavira, 10 meters short.
Hands on the ground.
Hands on the floor is the call.
Advantage.
And Rahul Peter again pinged for that suboptimal technique at the breakdown. And they have it now. Isipathana with their tails up. Shakib Zumri batters against this wall of Peterite defense. Kavin Tarusha.
That's good.
Avishka Hiran, lovely little short pass. Can he reach out? Yes, he can. Shahid Zumri, if you ever needed anyone for a try, that is a match winner. Shahid Zumri is your man. Chases Abdullah Faiza back. Asks his emotions to be in control. And will just try to add the extra points to give Isipathana a commanding lead.
Really good to appreciate the maturity in this boy. Shahid Zumri he knew exactly where the line was when the moment he got the ball. He knew exactly how many steps that he had to reach out and score that. But I think in the build-up to this score, Danushka Bodejo is going to be one of the most proudest and the happiest lads on this park. The forwards coach for Isipathana College. It's not Isipathana doing that in a mall. They are very famed for their forwards also running around and running rugby, but this Isipathana side has had some really good forwards who put their head down by Shahid Zumri that time, making the lead 12 points. 56 points have been scored here at Sugadadasa in this final. Isipathana with possession. Here's Jayavira, the Pathana skipper, carrying the ball forward. Puts ball to boot and finds Pasidu Bandara. This is dangerous. Bandara gets away. Bandara in the corner. Pasidu Bandara loses his footing. Try. What a final this is turning out to be. Blow after blow. Punch after counter punch. Pasidu Bandara gets into the scoreboard, and now the lead is cut down to 7 points. Final 10 minutes in the game, Abdullah.
The Peterite back three. Now on this occasion, he was in a position to collect that kick by Zumri, which was not the correct option. And just the strength of this lad to ward off a couple of defenders and go over and keep the Peterites in points to 34. What that kick needed to be was just right down the park, isn't it?
Opportunity now for Peter to cut down the deficit to just 5 points. Difficult angle, but definitely in his range as Peter connects. And he's through. At moments that you need excellence, big game players stand up. The opposition first 5-8 Zahid Zumri came through with a try.